one point in time, Mickey Mouse was the most well-known character in the whole world. But back in the late 1980s, early 90s, Mario was just about everywhere. And not just in his video games. He had his own cartoon series, the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. And then it spiraled from there to the point he had his own action figures, stuffed toys, shirts, candy, and even a breakfast cereal. At one point in time, you couldn't do anything without seeing Mario. On the other side, Mickey Mouse in comparison wasn't getting seen as much. Sure, he was on t-shirts and at Disneyland, but he wasn't quite up in front and in your face, as he had been. Television channels tended to air the more modern Disney cartoons of the time, such as DuckTales, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, Tailspin, Darkwing Duck, that kind of thing. Disney teamed up with Capcom and brought a fair few titles to the Nintendo NES, most of which are considered classics, such as the DuckTales games. Disney's relationship with Capcom didn't end with the NES though. Eventually, the Union brought us the game I'm going to talk about today, The Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse, known in Japan as Mickey's Magical Adventure. The game's a bright, colourful platformer with the player taking on the role of Mickey. It's part of a trilogy released by Capcom, although us Europeans only got 2 out of 3 games. In fact, Japan was the only territory to see the third one, but we did get a remake of it on the Game Boy Advance. Okay, back to this game. You move in the same sort of fashion as in most typical platform games, and you can defeat enemies by jumping on them. But you can also attack them by grabbing blocks and other stunned enemies and spinning them around in Mickey's hand to use them as a projectile. One of the gameplay features this game is most known for is the ability to find new outfits for Mickey, which give him different special abilities. So for example, you get to play as Firefighter Mickey, who can use his hose. Sometimes this feeds into puzzles as well as being an option for attack. For example, you might have to put out fire to progress. It reminds me of the Mega Drive title Kid Chameleon. And seeing as I love that game, this isn't a comparison that hurts Mickey Mouse at all. The graphics are great, full of colour and character, the sound's cheery, and it matches the overall feel of the game. The controls are good. I don't think they're quite Mario good, but they certainly more than do the job. When it comes to complaints, some people would bring up the fact that Mickey's Magical Quest is quite an easy game. But that's understandable since it stars Mickey Mouse. Capcom clearly knew a lot of kids would be playing this, so if it was Mario the Lost Levels hard, it would have just led to mass complaints and screaming children. It's not completely unchallenging, there are a few skills and basic patterns to learn, and it's kind of nice to find a game which focuses on the fun and doesn't overly penalise you for anything. You have unlimited continues, and when you die you start again with a full set of hearts, and you don't lose any of your coins at all. If you like fun platform games, I'd urge you to try this game. It's a brilliantly uncomplicated slice of fun. It might be a little easy at points, and it might be a touch short. In fact, its length is the only real thing keeping me from giving it a high score. All things considered, I think I need to give this game a 7.5 out of 10. If you're after the game, I tend to see it going for around £10 for the cart. Although big warnings have to be given about the fact that the second one is rarer, and if you want to play the third SNES one, you're going to have to go down the import route. Whether that be through a converter, buying a foreign machine, or modifying your PAL system. One way around this is to go for the Game Boy Advance remakes. They're more or less the same games with a few extras thrown in, and they might be a little cheaper and easier to get your hands on. Plus you can get a European version of 3, which is helpful. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed the review, and I hope you decide to try out this Mickey Mouse game. Thank you.